Hi guys, hope you're well. My name's Jamie York. I am the Managing Director of We Sell BMV. Now, I've been asked to put this video together by my business development team, Andrew and Toyin, who I'm sure you've already been speaking to already. The reason why I'm putting this together is because we have had an outrageous amount of people coming in showing interest in this lease option portfolio. Now, lease options always get a lot of our buyers excited due to the investment returns, capital growth opportunity within it, with a very, very low cash input per property. So for example, the average lease option that we've got is £5,000 all in per property, which obviously is crazy when you think about the average purchase property, which is around £40,000 all in, including fees within those, by the way. So this video is to give you an overview really of the portfolio, because they've been inundated with these phone calls and they're answering the same questions over and over. So I thought, right, I'll put together a quick 10-minute video for investors that are serious about moving forward with this portfolio, and hopefully this answers a lot of your questions, and then Andrew or Toyin from the office will give you a call to talk through the details of this. One thing to be sure on, by the way, is we operate on a first come, first serve basis. So once the portfolio is reserved and paid for, the reservation fees is no longer available. We have a lot of people coming in asking for bid ups and things like that. Oh, we'll pay you £5,000 more or things like that. We don't operate like that. We're not an estate agency. So just be patient with the sales guys, the business development team, because it's not down to them. They're my rules, okay? So once it is reserved, it's locked out. No other investor can get it, which hopefully gives the lucky individual that is quick enough confidence that nothing's going to be pulled away from them. So as I said, I'm going to give an overview of the lease option portfolio and the benefits of the portfolio, give you some details on the properties, the capital growth, equity and mortgage balances, cash flow and the tenants, and then an overall summary. So the background of this, the actual seller of the option of this portfolio is actually our construction project manager. So originally, this individual worked for the Royal Air Force, the RAF, and this portfolio made him financially free so he could quit, etc., set up his life with his missus in Yorkshire. So that financial freedom allowed him to start scaling one of his businesses, which he's now scaled to a really good level, moved down to Peterborough, started his family. He's got 2 kids now, which is fantastic. And he no longer needs the income from the portfolio because he's moved on to bigger things now with construction and development. And so now he wants to exit the portfolio that is nowhere near, etc., and give somebody else the opportunity to benefit from the cash flow. So because the tenants have been so good to him, they've been reliable tenants, paying on time all the time, he wants to make sure that somebody that is taking on this portfolio is somebody that's actually going to follow through on that, care for the tenants and look after them the way that he does, i.e. a good landlord that's going to take over this and is somebody that's looking to reap the rewards of the cash flow of this portfolio, but also an opportunity for the tenants to have a good landlord as well. So overview of the properties. There's 12 properties in this portfolio in County Durham. The vendor has had them on lease option for about 5 years now, and the owner of the properties has owned them for the last 15 years. So it gives you a good idea that this isn't a quick turnaround portfolio. This is something that's been developed over those 15 years and by the new option owner the last 5 years. So every single property is tenanted or has undergone a full refurbishment or recently refurbished. So the ones that do need tenanting, you know, are at a rentable standard as well, which is really fantastic. Now, obviously, they are £50,000 to £80,000 properties. They're not Buckingham Palace, but they are refurbished. So you're not needing to worry about any of the untenanted properties needing a load of works and suddenly forking out a load of money for that. So we have photos of the fronts of the houses. We've asked tenants for up-to-date photos of internals of the properties. So as you can appreciate, this does take some time, but what we're looking for is somebody to reserve the property subject to what I'm saying being true and seeing the photos of that, of course. Let me see. So we've sold a lot of lease option portfolios in the past, so we're not really worried about this one. We know they fly off the shelves. So yeah, just really excited to be making this available to people, but we are only looking for people that are serious. The full all-in cost to the portfolio, including our fees, including the vendor option price, is £60,000. Okay, so if you don't have that amount of money to invest, we're not negotiating on that price at all. We know that's a ridiculous price already. The vendor knows it's a ridiculous price already. So if you're not interested in that price, please don't take up somebody else's opportunity or time on the phone with you that unless you have that money available and ready to go. So you will notice in the portfolio, or for those of you that buy lease options, the average lease option length out there that is packaged on is 3 to 5 years. You will notice that our lease options are an incredible length of time. And the reason for that is because we know the banks well, we negotiate with the banks all the time, and we know the owner of the property very well, who has agreed to give the exact lease length of the mortgage term that's available. So that's a massive plus for you and in the future, by the way, because we can get involved in that. And obviously the vendor's got an agreement that he will extend as long as the mortgage is extended. You'll notice that there are 2 properties in particular that are below that 3-year average, one at 2.2 years, one at 2.6 years, I believe. We have checked in with the mortgage companies already and got confirmation that they are happy extending the mortgages. However, they are not allowed to extend until there's around 6 months remaining on that. Again, to give you further confidence, we have already been in talks with these, and there were a couple of lease options, and we got them extended by 5 years and 10 years respectively, already with the same lenders. So we know they're not just talking, they're actually delivering on this promise. And what we're happy to commit to is at that point when you do come to extending, if you want it extended by 5 or 10 years, then we are happy to get involved. I personally am happy getting on the phone. So you can get that in writing from the team, that I will help you get those extended down the line and on a continuous basis, by the way. I want to make sure you're getting a lifetime of value out of this, guys. So, you know, the great thing is with all of these lenders, they are extending the mortgages. And as I said, the option will be extended in line with how much we can get that done. So that's going to be really cool. Capital growth, equity and mortgage balances. So we sent out the portfolio saying it makes a net of £31,000, but actually because the mortgage rates have come down even further, it's now making an additional £2,500, which tips it closer to the £34,000 a year net gross profit coming in. So a really great opportunity there. Let me see what notes I've got. Yeah, okay, so what we've done is worked out, so the average portfolio length, as I said, normally is 3 to 5 years, but our average is 9.5 years, with the option to extend as well, which is incredibly rare within this. Each portfolio is contracted in the way that if you want to sell the contract to anyone else, the lease option down the line, you can do that and we can actually help facilitate that. Or if you wanted to sell the property, say for example, you've got an option and in 5 years' time, the property's worth, let's just make it £100,000, but your option is 75. You can sell it for 100,000. You do not need to buy it at all. And the agreement allows somebody else to purchase the property from you. The vendor will receive the 75,000 as agreed, and you receive the profit. So another way of exiting that property. So we've worked out the amount of money that's going to be made as well from an equity portion if you choose to buy it. So without it, it's around £325,000 profit that you're going to make over the average of 9.5 years. So around £34,000 profit per year that you've got those. And that's taken account of no extensions whatsoever, which, as I said, there's near guarantee of that as well. But also we've looked at capital growth in the area, being very conservative and put it between the 4 and 5% mark, which is getting achieved in the area over the long term. So if you chose to execute, there's another £300,000 in equity. Personally, if they are operating at a really high rate and you're really happy with the cash flow and you want to continue that, I'd just purchase at the lower price. However, if there are some where the equity goes up significantly, personally, I just put them on the open market and you can sell it. By the way, you do not need to wait until the end of the option for that. You can sell it at any point that you want. Cool. So overall, the £5,000 per property works out as £3,000 going to the vendor of the property, because he's not foolish. He knows exactly what people are getting with this, and we're taking a very nominal £2,000 fee. Because we know the owner of this, we're not needing to charge VAT on this. So normally it would be 72,000 including VAT, but we're able to sell it at £60,000 flat rate. Okay, so £320,000 net profit. Even if, by the way, it grew at only 3%, you then get all of that rental profit again on top as profit. Okay, what we can also do for you as an added extra, if you want added security and guaranteed exits on it, is we can help you find tenant buyers in the area. This is where somebody comes in, let's say they pay you £5,000 today, which is quite typical, £3,000 to £5,000 today. They want to buy a property in the area, but you don't know, they're not able to buy it at the moment. So it might be somebody that's got a default on their account last year, so they know it's going to be on for another 5 years. These are really great people to get into these properties, and something I'd suggest actually with you, because that way what you can do is get a tenant buyer in for £3,000 to £5,000 upfront, so it covers your costs. So you're in for let's say 0 to 20 grand rather than 60 grand. But what you can also do is get them paying a top up on your rent. So say your rent is £500, but they can pay you £650, and that extra £150 goes into a separate account that goes towards their deposit, so their 5-10% deposit down the line. And if they don't buy it from you, all you've done is benefited from a tenant as usual, getting that money in, but also you can benefit from if they purchase it, so you're making some money on that as well. So there really are multiple exits to this portfolio. Now, the nature of a lease option means that you, as the investor, have the right but not the obligation to purchase this property. What that means is, if at the end of the term, all you wanted to do was benefit from that cash flow, you have 3 options. Option 1 is you can go, here you go, owner of the property, here's your keys back, you deal with it. And that's that, done. You can walk away having made the £320,000 profit over that period. Option 2, which I would personally go for if you don't want to buy it, is get on the phone to the bank, say, hey, we want to extend it by another 5 years. So, and we've got it agreed with the vendor. You can continuously do that, by the way, which is amazing. Option 3 is you can buy the property. And this is where it gets really powerful, because if, for example, the property, let's say it's worth 60,000 now, and you've got that option for 60,000, but it goes to 80,000, you can buy that, and the vendor is obligated, legally, black and white obligated, to sell you the property at 80,000. So you can either buy it at 80,000 or you can sell it for 100,000 and keep the money in between. So this is why lease options are so powerful, by the way, because all of the risk of this is onto the vendor of the property, which is why it's so important for investors to take advantage. And this is why we're inundated by people looking to take advantage of lease option portfolios. So you have the right, but not the obligation to buy it at the end, but they have the obligation to sell it to you at the end. You can get tenant buyer exits, which once you've taken on the portfolio, we can help advise you on how to market that, how to structure it, etc., and put you in touch with solicitors that deal with that as well to really help you out of that. But even as the lease option on their own, the cash flow that you're looking at is 320,000 over the 9.5 year period, which is £34,000-ish net each year. And the added benefit of the capital uplift, which is another 300,000. So you're making, as you're saving on the VAT, around a 1,000% return on investment spread over the 9.5 years. That's over 100% per annum average, taking account of the cash flow and the capital uplift. So hopefully that's going to answer all of your questions. If you've listened to that and you're one of these people where you're like, yes, we want to take action, we are looking to tie this up and take a reservation fee and get the reservation form signed by absolutely Friday latest. So you need to get in touch with the team now. They will answer any other questions you've got. Any questions they can't answer, they'll bring it to me personally and I'll get that answered for you. Okay, so this is a massive opportunity that you're not going to want to slip away right now, especially with the market as it is. A lot of people are choosing not to purchase property, but to de-risk themselves and take on lease options right now. So get in touch with the team as soon as possible. Hopefully that answers all your questions, and it's time to take action, guys. Have a fantastic day. Take advantage of this opportunity to make money now. See you later.